Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's good to be here. My name is Mide Nancy. Just in case you're new, if you're a returning subscriber or a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming. I just want to thank all the new subscribers. Thank you for joining the family. It's so good to have you guys. I hope that on this channel you learn a thing or two. I know it's been a minute, and that's because I've been busy with like other things of life, but I didn't forget you guys, and that's why I'm back again today with another video, an interesting one. Like you can see in the title, I'm going to be answering the question, can English speakers survive in France? Like people who don't speak any atom of French, can you survive in France? Can you work in France? Can you stay in France long term if you do not speak French? So if it sounds like something you're interested in watching, grab your popcorn and let's get right into the video. Now back to the video. This video might be a little bit kind of everywhere, but I'm going to try my best to make it make sense. First thing I'm going to say is that I personally know lots of people. I have friends even who are in France or who have been in France for like years and they do not speak French. I've made a bunch of videos with lots of non-French speaking people who's been settled in France for a long time. So definitely, yes, it is possible for you to come to France without even speaking English. But now the question is, can you survive? It depends on you. It depends on your motivations. It depends on your reason for coming. And it depends on what drives you. Are you someone who easily gets frustrated? Are you someone who really like easily abandons things when it's not working for you? If you are that kind of person, it might be difficult for you to survive, because even as French speakers, like someone like me who speaks French, life is still like lifing, right? Things are still very difficult. There are many times I'll feel like, should I just look for another country to go? Abi, what is even happening? I've asked myself those questions like severally. Now I'm trying to imagine when you don't even speak French. It's like, sorry for the non-Nigerians, Shege Pro Max. Now I'm not saying that other countries do not have their own baggages and problems. There are so many problems everywhere. Even if you're in your own country, it's difficult to survive. So that's why I said it depends on you. It depends on your drive. When you continue to think about those things that made you move out of your country and move into France, I feel like at the end of the day, it will help you and keep you going, if that makes sense. A very important information that I feel like many people always forget is that there are lots of English speaking programs across several French universities in France. So it is 100% possible for you to come to France and study, have your bachelor's degree or your master's degree or your PhD entirely in English. Some of these programs, however, provide the students, the international students, with like French classes that they could do during their leisure and everything. But some of these programs do not offer such courses. You won't really have a problem because you have classmates that you can always like depend on. I mean, it can be difficult to, if you are not someone who likes to ask for help or mix up with people, it might be difficult, but at least you have this community of people around you. You're not alone. You're not like the only person in the class who doesn't speak French. You're like 30 and everyone speaks like English. The only, maybe a few of them might know a bit of French here and there. So you have this community of people around you. So it is 100% possible to come to France and study entirely in English. So another thing is that it depends on the region of France that you are placed in. So if you come to France and you move to a more like villagey rural area, it might be a little bit difficult for you to enjoy the benefits of life as a non-French speaking person, because most people in the villagey areas or the rural areas do not speak any other languages aside French. So having someone they have to constantly sign to and everything is going to be frustrating for you and going to be frustrating for them as well. So the downside of that is that life might be a little bit boring for you. In that case, you have to make connections with people who are in similar shoes as yours, like international students who are also looking to connect with like French speaking people. So very quickly, because I don't want this video to be long, I'm going to touch on some of the like downsides of coming to France as someone who speaks only English. So that way you can be mentally prepared for some of these things, so you can make your plans. Do you still want to pursue coming to France, or do you want to change your mind? You want to look for a different country to go to? So very first thing is administrative problems. When you need to go to the immigration office to do something, or the social security, or the bank, because these problems will always come up, you need to depend on someone who speaks French to help you out, because many of the people working in this sector do not necessarily speak English. They are not recruited based on their capacity in speaking English. And so many of them are not the most patient people. When you're on phone with them and they are trying to like explain yourself with your tattered French, the Franglish, they just have like la flemme. French people say la flemme, like they just do not have the patience and the time to spend trying to decipher what you're saying and everything, because like you're decoding something. So to find someone that would spend a day with you going from one office to the other to translate for you is not the easiest thing, and it's not the best, because you have to depend on what this person is translating for you. Another thing, this one is very minor, but a lot of times you might not be able to find your way to certain places, especially if you're living in big cities like Paris, where the metro is the subway system, is like very jam-packed and very confusing. So if you're not able to like read, understand where you're supposed to turn to and this and that, you're going to like miss your way a lot. But thanks to Google Maps, you can to a good extent find your way. And there's some other apps for like Paris, people who live in Paris, like City Mapper, and some other regions as well have their own internal applications to help you find your way. But I feel like even if you get lost for the first 1 month, you're always getting lost. You definitely get used to it, and then eventually be able to like go to places on your own without actually getting lost as someone who doesn't speak French. The generation of today, the younger people, many of them speak English to a good extent, because in France they learn English from primary school, primary, secondary school, university. They like English is kind of compulsory for them. So the younger generation, the young people, and just because we're in Europe as well, knowing the importance of English, many people are learning English. So people doing part-time jobs at the restaurant and everything can actually express themselves to a good extent in English. So you might not really have any problem with that. I feel like as I was mentioning the downsides, I've been kind of mentioning some solutions, highlighting some things that could, the opposite of it. But I feel like maybe I could talk about some of the positives. It's not like positives, it's just, because people ask questions like, after school, do I even stand a chance to get a job? And I just want to respond to that question with some of the things I'm going to say now. So France is a country that is like one of the biggest, most recognized countries in Europe, if not the most recognized. France has lots of companies that have like partner relations or partnerships with countries like United Kingdom, like other countries in Europe, Germany and everything. And in Europe or in the European Union, because there are so many different languages, the main working language and transaction language and everything, it remains English. So there are lots of opportunities and jobs here and there that you will have to like even work entirely in English, and they would not require you to speak French or German or whatever. Of course, they might still say a knowledge of this will be much appreciated, a knowledge of French will be much appreciated. But if you come to France for a 3 years program or 2 years program, before the end of the 2 years, if you know what you're doing, you should be able to have like a A1, A2 level in French, like to a good extent, be able to understand, oh, let's go for a coffee break, understand little things here and there. So when you find yourself in an organization or institution, these little things that they say among themselves, even though it's not the working language, you will be able to understand and survive, like, outside work and smile at a few jokes. So basically, yes, you can get a job in France and even in the neighboring countries and get to work 100% in English. So I hope that this very short video answers your question, because I really do not, sometimes it's just tiring. Like, I have la flemme to reply so many messages asking the same question. So I just tell myself, I'm just going to make a video about it. That way, when I have people ask me this question, I just send them the video. It's easier, and it can also reach a large number of people who have been asking themselves this particular question. At the end of the day, what I always just tell myself is like, even if I'm in the United Kingdom or in the United States, because I speak English doesn't mean that I'm going to get the best opportunities. Yes, it will definitely simplify my life. The fact that I can understand what people are saying around me. Are they gossiping about me? Are they saying that I look good? The fact that I can hear that makes sense, and the fact that I can solve my own administrative problems without having everyone know my own personal secrets will also be a good plus. But I just feel like there are so many other things that might not come easy. If you have to choose the one that aligns best with your goals, your dreams. Honestly, if you have good opportunities in English speaking countries, go for that instead. I'm not gonna lie, go for that instead. But if you don't have like any opportunities and you are just like open, like, oh, I want to shoot my shot, I want to try so many countries. Why not? You can add France to your list. It's not the best country, but it's not the worst one. So you can add it. This video is just to tell you you can survive, you can get a good job, you can live here long term. The fact that you don't speak French will limit you a little bit in some things, but it's not going to put your life on hold. That's just what I'm trying to say. There are limitations to it, but definitely you can find your way. I hope with this few points of mine, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Please do well to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you are watching this video by chance, you're welcome. Subscribe and join the family today. Do not forget to share this video with your friends, your brothers, sisters, and entourage, people who speak English and are thinking of migrating to Europe. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.